So basically, we have two operating systems. Basically, we have two main operating systems: M for Mike, U for Umbrella, C for Charlie, O for Oscar. Orion, Orion like Orion the Hunter. I said two, so that would be MUCO. Basically, it's gonna be all constellations, really, because that's the thing. I'm genius. But you don't have to look at constellations. You just have to be, have internet, I have the network access to services, persistent network access. Which I will have to still prove. But that's MUCO operating system, MUCO Orion. Let me just find names of constellations online. Names of established constellations. Established. Names of established constellations. Constellation. This is a big thing to build. Constellation list. I never know how to study my constellations here. So the zodiac sign, blah 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 blah. List constellations. Andromeda, Antilla, Apus. This are gonna be the distro names. So the distro names. For example, you're gonna have the list of constellations here. You're gonna have Andromeda. You're gonna have all of the maps of star constellation, because that's how seamless photon geospatial 100% 24/7 day network works. So every in kind of variant of MUCO OS with a K, M for Mike, Q for Umbrella, K for Kilo, O for Oscar, the spirits of good and of evil that bind us in the digital world, that bind us all in the digital world, is gonna have distros. So I'm gonna use the distros like Linux distro. You're gonna have a MUCO distro for each operating system that are in the physical. I'm so happy to announce that this is gonna be how it works forever. It's not just one operating system. You have distributions of operating systems. So you can have Crux operating system. You can have a Cilium operating system. You can have Apus operating system. It's a MUCO operating systems. So I'm on constantly on constellation.guide.com, and this is what MUCO offers. So MUCO with a C is the physical operating system, and the K is digital operating system. So right now I have to take some questions on GPT-4. Let me take some pictures from GPT-4. Ask me 10 questions about MUCO and MUCO OS. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with the third question. What does booting into MUCO OS actually mean? Yes, MUCO is physical. So MUCO is physical. That means that MUCO respects your human rights in the physical. So there's an implementation guideline for the physical world, like how the rooms, how the house gonna, the size of the house, the size of the compound, the size of the allotment, the size of the thing. These are called specifications in the world. So basically, using the agile framework, I'm developing a framework such that there is housing in every there is kind of a utopian vision because it adheres to neurodivergence, physical sensory rights, and open sense, open access, which is the vision tier of open sensory and open based on the kind of the housing that uses sensology to explore how senses interact with our world and how senses work because it's I won't say it's free because I won't say housing is free. I mean, a housing is free because it's a human right. I would say it's free because it's a human right, and there are specifications and guidelines involved in that. To enforce things such as how the housing is free, like how it's built to be free. Because when you are in this kind of environment, it's gonna be for gaining people capacity. You different people to have capacity. Because I grew up in a my foundation of housing is literally being living in a compound, in dwellings in a compound where your family members are there. And you are being taken care of whether you're sick or not, because there's more space to gain capacity. There's like a physical space gives you capacity. Like, having space to breathe air, not being in a room, gives you more capacity than being in a room. Yes. So booting into Miko OS, like I am being operated on. My human rights are preserved because I'm a human being. You have animal rights too, so animal rights are preserved. Yeah. Uh, if is it simply empowering a computer or an activity consensual relationship between a person and a system? It's constitutional relationship between a person, consensual constitutional relationship between a person and a system, because the real world is Orion, or for example, let's take Muko Orion for example, and you can have Muko Andromeda. The operating system has what do you call it? Distributions, because it's ontological operating system. It's literally inspired by ontology. So that's why, because it's ontological, it has a reference frame to so you can never so you understand. I'll localize later before you understand the grand scheme of things. What is MUCO OS? What is MUCO? If someone had only 60 seconds, how would I explain MUCO to them? MUCO is a physical operating system for human well-being and welfare. Uh, MUCO is a human rights system for human welfare. Yeah. It's an because you have to survive. No one can die in MUCO, I believe. you know, how does human rights become part of the operating system? What's the kernel of MUCO responsible for? Breaching humans? What does a kernel do? A kernel is basically a kernel. It's literally for new developed people only. What is a kernel? A kernel the same kernels for loading is that manages basically it allows people in, new developed people in. So so that's what the kernel is for. I'll give us a kernel because I'm not really sure. I can't remember what a kernel was in operating system, but that's similar functionality in my mind. How should we build software for MUCOS? No, MUCOS is not. Wait, I said MUCOS. What? How should developers build software for MUCOS? Well, you're free to build a Muko OS. That's why we have the open access, open the license repository, github.com/open access license. But it's a different way of life. We are a design and technology constitution, so we make our own technology. It's like Silicon Valley. It's like Silicon Valley it's like Silicon Valley or BlackRock, BlackRock is the new Silicon Valley, but Mucos is the new Silicon Valley. So Muko West is the new Silicon Valley. Means that you have literally building a design technology and build design and technology. Come based on the five tertiary sectors. Which I'm saying that's what Muko West does. So it's a design and technology limited confederation. Because I'm not lying, but it's a different way of life. Literally a different way of life. So you can mine the minerals of the earth. You can get a lot. You can build your own. You can start your own projects without any intervention because it comes from the earth which you stand on. You just have to respect requirements for human rights, which ensure everyone human rights is not violated in the confederational framework for MUCOS, for OB Nexus. After the touch that later. What does Muko? How does Muko OS make decisions? does use AI ontological elements. Basically, how MUCO OS makes decisions. MUCO OS is I'm talking about the physical process of MUCO OS. It uses I'll answer this other two. Humans using human on the loop, human in the loop, or human out the loop. That's the three main categories for decision making for macOS: human in the loop, human on the loop, and human out the loop. So human in the loop implies humans are in the loop, and they are actively deciding via consensual trials. Human on the loop means the human may be not needed, but that's why, unless it's the first step, you get it to a robotic system, it's all automated, and human out the loop means all autonomous. AI domain only. Yeah, for ontological based intelligence. How does MUCO scale beyond one computer? MUCO uses the boot sequence, MUCO boot sequence, to non-polar, non-linear boot sequence, to scale out tasks scheduled on the operating system. Yeah. This is basically the digital operating system. What's the long-term vision? Sustainable governance and human rights, because if people can ensure the human rights are not violated, the city is like a mini city, civilization city, that people can work better because they have better rest, better work, better life, and they can easily work. They can just get to work. You didn't tell them, they're allowed to stream there, they're allowed to be human. It's like streaming university. You just the law is for people to build their own. So I can start a quarry and dig silicon out of the ground. Let's just start digging for Silicon Valley. Literally, that's the idea there. The idea is you're gonna be working for MUCO OS, but it's for new idea people well-being and literally via design methodology. So you're gonna be building your own design methodology, how you want to live, based on like the vision of building your own technology. Because I want to make my own technology, and I've never got to do so. So that's giving me the space to plan based on the housing and planning law 2016. Yes. Thank you for watching this video. Any questions, please ask me. It's gonna be security and welfare, security and design, and security. Design Strategy Confederation. Thank you for watching this video. Can I have the contribution for something else? These are the three main principles. So, example, you can have Andromeda be a different constellation for space travel or teleportation, or one domain, for example. Let me give you an example. MUCO Andromeda is for exploration of external galaxies. Let's say it's a spacefaring civilization. So basically, they're gonna be in orbit. Gonna be looking at having something to do on Andromeda galaxy, but it's primarily for space exploration and space exploration and welfare. Just to show how I get exists, because it's basically gonna be a domain we've established, but two domains to form a sector. So that's a two domains. So you get design and technology. You get space exploration or space and physics. That's a good idea. So it's two domains make a sector, and that's how sectors become, like health and social care or design and technology. Just a sector. It stands on its own. So it's a sector model I'm using to build methodology. So it's an industrial sectors. Thank you for watching the video. I was just chatting. I didn't even know whether I comment or message on the video. Thank you, though.